It started like any other night when Nashville stopped breathing. Glitter, music, and the delusion that secrets might be concealed by celebrity. But when Maggie Baugh, the young voice that every label was vying to sign, whispered a truth too heavy for the stage lights to contain, that illusion was destroyed. She said an unexpected name while her hands were shaking and her cheeks were stained with mascara. Nicole Kidman's husband, Keith Urban, is a country music legend, whose love-themed tunes increasingly resemble heartfelt confessions. She didn't tease a lyric or share a selfie. She revealed something so loud that broke Music City's silence. And it continued after the echo was picked up by the internet. Screens blazed with flames. Like sirens, yak spread, fans also understood that they weren't viewing rumors. They were observing a legend's decline. Months ago it all began. Under the guitar, quietly, like a rumor humming strings. Keith had met Maggie through a label link, the breakout singer with the steel-melting voice. It appeared to be mentorship at first. Notes on production, late nights in the studio, and an experienced mentor mentoring a budding artist. Then came the glances, the too-long laughter, the matching sweatshirts, and the delicate hand gestures captured in backstage pictures. Admirers believed it to be innocuous chemistry until that particular award ceremony. When Nicole stood in the audience during the CMA performance, she smiled just enough to conceal the storm behind her eyes. Maggie and Keith's singing style didn't seem practiced. It was a sense of remembrance. At that point, someone whispered, "Something's going on." Early in the spring, Maggie's self-assurance started to break. Her co-workers reported that she appeared preoccupied, frequently checked her phone, and left rehearsals in the middle of songs. Then she went live one evening, just tears and the truth without any makeup or filters. Her voice broke as she declared, "I'm done protecting people who lied to me." The hints were painted in neon, but she never gave names. "I'll always be there," he said. "I wasn't just a project," he said. Fans cobbled it together in a matter of hours. The timeline, the initials, the merchandise sweatshirt, and her final picture. There was no need to validate the internet. After the birth of Clark Keith, Nashville was never the same. Then the leak appeared. A paper labeled "Secrets They Don't Want You to Know" was shared on a Reddit topic without a name. The names were hazy, but the initials weren't KU and MB, and the number 99.3% was next to them. The purported DNA outcome. Screenshots uploaded by country fan pages, gossip accounts, and even news outlets claiming it was merely conjecture, spread more quickly than wildfire. Even the doubters were silenced by the evidence's convincing appearance. Some claimed it was a PR gimmick and was not real. However, when the only thing Maggie's PR staff would say in response was, "She's focusing on her health and her truth," the words "her truth" served as the catalyst for fire. Keith, meantime, made an effort to blend in. He shared a picture of himself strumming his guitar on his ranch. "Peace over noise" is the caption on a picture of a guitar outside. But in such a noisy storm, tranquility cannot endure. Admirers, his remarks were filled with incredulity, heartache, and rage. One person stated that peace is easy when the truth belongs to someone else's pain. Others only shared images of Maggie sobbing, or worse, clown emojis. And Nicole remained silent the entire time. She didn't have to. Her remarks were overshadowed by her silence. She was photographed by paparazzi strolling around Beverly Hills without a ring, and with her eyes hidden behind large sunglasses. The tabloids were unrestrained. When Keith Fass's DNA bombshell is revealed, Nicole breaks down. She has long been Hollywood's Grace's portrait. Grace now had a broken appearance. Fans were mistaken, though, if they believed the worst was over. Because Keith made things worse by finally speaking up. He went live with a trembling voice one quiet Sunday. "I've been in this business long enough to know rumors come and go," he said. However, this one has gone too far. His comments were broken by a pause that was weighty enough to choke on. Then the line that turned everything on its head appeared. "A lot of love, a lot of errors, and a lot of life lessons are present. Lines can get hazy at times." He did not refute it. He made no attempt at all. And the internet discovered its confession in that hesitancy. Sections for comments exploded. "You're acknowledging it then. Nicole is worthy of better. Keith, lines don't just appear. Millions of spectators froze their screens to read when he abruptly ended the live in the middle of a phrase. His face frame by frame, akin to investigators examining a poignant crime scene, and a snippet of audio appeared hours later. The crack in Keith's voice as "I never intended for anyone to be hurt," she muttered. The world only needed to hear that. Maggie disappeared for a time. Then, her page went dark. No stories, no posts. However, after that, people saw a little alteration. She recently stated in her bio that the truth doesn't need approval. It only took one syllable to make me tremble. The skyline of Nashville. Was she mocking him or was she confirming it? And while the rumors were getting out of control, an audio voice message of Maggie crying to a friend that read, "He promised he'd stand by me," leaked on Twitter. "I'm not alone," he assured me. "You know I can't fix this if you go public," said a male voice in a raspy tape. The voice was uncannily similar to Keith's. AI, according to some. Some people insisted it was real. But by then, proof had been supplanted by perception. Nicole's silent strike followed. She shared a picture of a broken glass heart in black and white. Just pain, no words, no caption. The post received tens of thousands of comments, including, "Stay strong, Queen," and more than 1 million likes in just 1 hour. Additionally, "You don't require him." It was an obvious message. The golden couple in Hollywood had irreparably cracked. And TMZ released what it claimed verified hospital documents, as if the universe wanted to vouch for it. A DNA test at a facility in Tennessee identified K. Urban as the father and MB as the mother. 99.3% chance. The collective intellect of the internet vanished. The headlines shouted treachery. It was dubbed the largest scandal in contemporary country history by podcasts. Fans flooded Keith's ticket website's forthcoming tour, not to purchase tickets, but to saturate comment sections with the phrase, "We're not paying for heartbreak." However, the query persisted. Who released it? Some claimed it was an insider nurse who had been bought off by a blogger. Others speculated that Maggie's own crew was retaliating after being abandoned. Others said that Nicole planned it. All her covert retaliation masquerading as publicity. The harm was irreparable regardless of the reality. Keith's attorneys went aggressive, issuing takedown letters and threatening legal action. Maggie, however, did not move. According to rumors, she filed legal documents requesting paternity recognition. Just the truth, no fame or fortune. That one action changed her from a woman demanding accountability after being accused of destroying a home. Nicole's staff was working behind the scenes to create a discreet exit plan, a separation framed as elegant and personal. This time, the heartbreak felt definitive after years of supporting him during his rehabilitation and treatment. Once praising their romance, the same tabloids now featured side-by-side pictures with the slogan, "Trust before and after." And through it all, Maggie turned into the industry's lightning rod. She was considered brave by half of the globe. She was called by the other half, careless. Even her detractors, however, were unable to dispute one thing. She had altered the discussion of truth and power in country music will always be popular. Country music and truth forever. The live webcast that put an end to the rumors followed. With her eyes puffy but angry, Maggie reappeared on camera. Behind her, a gentle glow was visible, and next to her on the table was an ultrasound image. "My truth," was her caption. She didn't yell or swear. She only stated, "I pleaded that this be kept confidential, but lies spread more quickly than truth. No family was destroyed by me. I simply stopped concealing mine." Each word was more profound than the one before it. "He informed me that he would be there for me," she said. "However, he vanished when I revealed that I was expecting. There is no scandal here. A heartbeat is what this is." Tears, anger, and support erupted in the conversation. The same revelation blazed on screens everywhere. There was no performance here. This was a matter of survival. No performance here. This was a matter of survival. Keith issued a statement that sounded like surrender inside a day. "I sincerely regret the mistakes I committed. Where integrity should have led me, I let emotion take over. I accept full responsibility and will deal with this in private for all parties." Just enough acknowledgement to make, without denial or justification. Every headline seems to be accurate. It was done. The memes ceased to be amusing. The jokes felt cruel since gossip was no longer the topic. Consequences were at issue. Nicole Kidman returned to the limelight a few days later at a charity gala in New York. As she smiled, poised as ever, cameras flashed. But all was revealed by the tiredness in her eyes. The only response she had when asked how she was doing was, "Grace is the only thing I have left." That sentence turned into an instant headline, an elegantly clothed mantra for heartache. Rumor had it that she had already left their house in Nashville, taking her girls to Los Angeles. It had been a somber and sorrowful finale to the fairy tale. In Maggie's case, her career took off right away. She doubled her streams. For weeks, her name was popular, but she declined every sponsorship, talk show, and spotlight. "Rather, I didn't do this for fame," she tweeted. "For freedom, I did it." Days later, the eerie acoustic tune "Truth Hurts Twice" surfaced on her page. It sounds like a farewell letter in its lyrics. "But love doesn't live in shadows, friend," he remarked, adding that he would stay until the end. As soon as she turned, the internet referred to it as her masterpiece. Poetry out of suffering. In the meantime, Keith booked a secluded hideaway in Montana. This time, not for drugs, but for psychological healing. He appeared slimmer, quieter, and broken in paparazzi pictures. According to rumors, he attempted to contact Maggie, but she wasn't prepared. Perhaps she would never be. While dinner with Reese Witherspoon, Nicole was spotted laughing for the first time in months. "She has regained her radiance. She's finished crying," a buddy said. At this point, the planet had ceased viewing victims and villains. They saw defective and untidy people. It was dubbed a cultural reckoning by some. The headlines changed from disloyalty to responsibility. Instead of questioning who lied, people began to inquire as to why so many people felt compelled to. Maggie was no longer a controversy. She served as a reminder that honesty still has the capacity to destroy an industry that is based on image. Then, a single picture brought the narrative full circle just when everyone believed it was over. Keith was seen discreetly arriving at a hospital in Tennessee by TMZ cameras, cradling a tiny pink present bag. Maggie was said to have gone into labor the same morning. He remained silent till reporters only muttered something under his breath and departed in their car. A few days later, Maggie shared a black and white image of herself holding a newborn child, with just a heart emoji as a caption. One anonymous account surfaced in the comments, "I will always be present, simply signed K." And thus, a storm that had engulfed a whole city came to a peaceful end. Maggie discovered the truth. Nicole was able to find closure. Keith also discovered a lesson that no stage could ever instruct. Songs can be sold by that celebrity, but reality cannot be suppressed. Because whatever the reality, regardless of how loud the clapping gets, always manages to get the microphone, locates the microphone, locates the microphone.